everyone. Welcome back. It's another Monday. If you're listening on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. Tried to put some art up.
We're off to a great start.
And it fell down. You know what? I'm leaving it. Let's in.
Let's in.
We'll see if they all fall down. It's to see. Well, first of all, they're way too small on my wall. So it's just the Scotch tape was to just see how it looked. And I think if I get a frame, it won't look too bad, but the Scotch tape is clearly not a permanent solution.
Great start.
Super good. Super good. Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It with Jaiden and Faith. Long time no talk. Been a whole week.
We missed you guys.
How's everyone doing? Loving life?
I hope so.
Thriving, living their best life?
Putting some art on their wall, maybe.
Trying to put some art on your wall and it just won't stay. Oh man.
Jesus.
And this one looks pretty good. This one looks a little lopsided. Oh, where's my finger? Where's my finger? That one looks not straight.
The Let's one is like solid. It's not going anywhere. Sleep was struggling even before we started
and this
recording.
one I think will stay, but it just is on an angle.
We tried.
It's fine. It's fine. I literally did this like 4 seconds before you pressed play.
With Scotch tape.
With Scotch tape. So clearly not a handyman. But Jaiden, how are you?
I'm good. I'm slowly losing my voice. I'm starting to sound like a 14-year-old boy. So
welcome.
Call me Jeffrey.
Oh. Okay. Jeffrey.
But okay, wait. I actually kind of do have like a little life update.
Hey, give it to us.
I was talking to my mom. We were talking about like names, kid names, like what she was going to name Jared, what she was going to name me. And she had 3 names in mind. And I feel like they're kind of good options. So I want everyone to like let me know what name sounds most like me. And I know obviously Jaiden sounds like my name. That's what you guys know me as. Okay. But what one could you imagine me as?
Okay.
Number 1 was JC.
Okay.
Number 2 was Jordan. Okay. And number 3 was Tabitha.
None. You're Jaiden.
But say I wasn't Jaiden. Erase the memory.
I think JC would be the closest because I know a Jordan and you're not a Jordan. And you're not. I know a Tabitha too, but you're not a Tabitha.
I hate that name. I'm sorry if you're a Tabitha. You're great, but I hate that name.
Not for you.
Not the one. I don't want to be.
For you, the strongest of the nose.
I'm not Tabby. I'm not Tabby.
Strongest of the nose.
I could see JC.
Oh yeah, I think you're a J name for sure.
Yeah, I just thought that was cool. And her reasoning for JC was really cute because my dad's name is John and her name is Colleen, so she was meshing the two together, like JC.
J, the letter J, the letter C.
Yes.
I was like, that's not what John and Colleen together would sound.
The first initials. Sorry, the first initials of their name.
Colleen, we need to have a conversation because John and Colleen together would be like Jolene. Jolene. Which would be like Jolene, which is a cool name. My cousin's name is Jolene, but I see what she means. J-C.
Yes.
A-C.
Yes.
That's the name. I'm following.
The first initials. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Everyone on YouTube saw how confused I was as you said. I am really terrible at not showing that I'm confused on my face in like a sarcastic way. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes when people are confused, they're just like, oh, and then like they'll talk about it after. I'm always like,
right away you go,
what?
You make like the weirdest face and you're like so skeptical.
Yeah, I got to work on that, but that's okay. So my life, sure, I'm getting excited. My life update is just The Bachelorette is back, everybody. Last Tuesday, we watched the very first episode. Jaiden and I watched it together after work, and we just loved it so much. We are here to present our new segment to you, Wake Up and Smell the Roses, our Bachelorette recap.
Yay!
I've never been more excited to talk about anything in my life. If you guys don't watch The Bachelor, The Bachelorette franchise, that's okay. You can listen to the recap and probably understand exactly what's going on.
And guys, Faith is so passionate about this. She used to have like a blog about Bachelorette, anything.
It was really only one blog post. But when Claire's season,
I think it's cute.
When Claire's season got announced and the men were released, and this was before the podcast even happened, I've always wanted to like have a platform of some sort, I guess, that's not like my personal platform. That's like, you know, just like something fun to do. And I was like, oh, I'll just start like a blog. So I like had all the men and I like read all their bios and like analyzed like their bios and like what their characters like sounded like, which I think would be different now, even if I went back and found the blog post, because I did this right when the men first came out, like before quarantine was a thing.
Yes.
So, and I know they changed some men and like whatever, so it would be different. But then I was like, well, we're just going to talk about it on the podcast, so I don't need to blog anymore. But
this is your platform.
And this is my platform. So super excited to talk about it. Before we get into the episode, Jaiden, I do want to talk about Hannah Brown and Tyler Cameron.
Okay, wait. Did you watch their YouTube video?
That's exactly what I'm going to talk about.
I was watching it while making breakfast yesterday. Okay.
So Hannah posted a video on her channel and Tyler posted a video on his channel. I did watch Tyler's because that one I think is more like light and funny, and I wanted to know like what actually happened.
And it's a mukbang or mukbang, whatever you want to call it.
That's what Tyler's is. Yeah. Hannah, they just are like sitting in front of the camera, basically like telling everyone.
Hashing it out. Yeah.
So I was all through Hannah Brown's season. I was team Hannah Brown.
Yes.
When she was announced for The Bachelorette, a lot of my friends weren't.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, except go blue, but it's okay. A lot of my friends weren't. I don't know. I saw like a lot of myself in her, especially through the season, like maybe putting up with a little bit more than what she should, but then also like when the time came being like, screw you, get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? So I just saw like a lot of myself in her and her decision-making process and the way she handled certain situations. And I know she was a very like controversial Bachelorette in the sense of like, we loved Hannah or we hated Hannah. I found there wasn't a lot of people that just kind of dealt with her. We like loved Hannah or we were not about Hannah.
And I do have to say, I was that one person that was like, why is she going to be the Bachelorette?
So I was confused when they picked her. Well, actually, I never really liked her on Colton's season.
Me either.
But then
I thought she was too much.
With her exit, when she left and she said something about not waiting for the love that she deserves. It was a big quote. I was on my message board. That's how much I loved it. She won me over in those 30 seconds of leaving the show, and guaranteed that's when she won the producers over and everything. She nailed that exit. And I don't think we got to see the real Hannah B on Colton's season because there was a lot of that pageant drama with Kaylin, and then because Kaylin ended up like winning
the audience over.
Yeah, we didn't get to see Hannah B. So, a package.
Ooh, what you buy, Faith?
I don't know. I don't want to look at it yet. It's just going to sit there. Okay, so anyway, I like Hannah Brown. And then when she was the Bachelorette, I was excited about it. The second Tyler Cameron stepped out of that damn limo, I was like, how do you pick anyone else? In that moment, how do you pick anyone else? Similar to the way Claire is feeling about Dale.
Yes.
How do you pick anyone else when you see Tyler freaking Cameron step out of the limo? And then, but I will say at first you're kind of like, okay, this guy's really attractive. Like, is he dumb?
There is a little bit of like,
that's your question. You go, is he dumb?
Because there's something that happens in girls' brains when there's like a quote unquote perfect guy in front of them. They're like, okay, there has to be something wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, you either have to be a douche, you have to be like whatever.
Tyler freaking Cameron opens his mouth. He defends women. He pumped Hannah B's tires like it was nobody's business. He almost fought Luke P because Luke P is a dipshit. I just was like, yes. Final two with Jed. When she freaking picked Jed, I almost started a riot.
I was upset too because she totally went for like that hometown feel.
For safe. She went with what feels safe and what feels like regular.
And I do have to say, Jed,
you're stupid.
You're so passionate about this.
I'm so mad about it. When you have Tyler Cameron and Jed Wyatt standing in front of you, there's one choice. There's one. And she picked the wrong one.
I do have to say, though, I feel like Jed really just like kind of swooped the audience because he
He had a whole girlfriend. Of course he wooed the audience.
That's what I mean. Like, it's like,
well, he didn't woo me. I was team Tyler for the whole show.
I loved Tyler too, but I fell in love with Jed first because he's that like Rico Suave.
No, I was like, your hair's funny. I don't like you with this guitar. And I like music. I like music, but I'm like, ugh.
I don't know. I felt like they immediately had that connection, that hometown feel. So she was sticking to that. Whereas like Tyler scared her more.
Which I understand. And
I still agree, Team Tyler.
Because he's one of the good ones.
Exactly.
Anyway, for those who didn't watch the season, she didn't pick Tyler. The one that she ended up getting engaged to had a whole girlfriend, so now she's single, whatever. Then she ended up back on Peter's season crying about making the wrong decision, whatever. So at this point, Tyler's really probably feeling like not a first choice, not a second choice, not a third choice. So he's probably a little bit pissed about it.
I'd be pissed too. Like, she was a hot mess.
Yeah. Before quarantine happened, Tyler's mom passed away and Hannah's brother overdosed. So those two, and Tyler's mom, really, really liked Hannah. They talked almost every day on Instagram. Like, she really, really liked Hannah. So Tyler kind of reached out, and Hannah like wanted to come to the funeral, and Tyler was like, that's so nice, like whatever. So they went to the funeral and they ended up spending time together. And this is when a lot of the paparazzi shots of like him picking her up at the airport and like all of this stuff kind of started happening, which is when I was like, oh my God, they're totally together. I was team Hannah B and team Tyler, like from the beginning. So in the YouTube video, they kind of go to talk about how everything happened. And basically they didn't expect quarantine to be as intense as it is. And basically like, although Hannah was like staying with Tyler, and they admitted that they played into the idea of them dating. Probably a little bit more than they needed to on Instagram and TikTok especially. But they hated each other. Like, they slept in the same bed for 18 days and did not touch, did not kiss, did not touch, did not do anything. At one point, Tyler and Hannah stayed on opposite ends of the house because like they were like gonna kill each other. Like, Hannah even left for 2 days and stayed with a friend in Florida and then ended up coming back because she's like, okay, like I know I need to come back. And like the only reason she made it back to Alabama was because a friend of a friend was in Jupiter and was driving back to where she was, like her hometown. So she like hopped in the car, and she can't drive because she has narcolepsy. So like they really were fooling everyone, including myself. And I was kind of sad about it because I was like,
I was so upset too because you watch them together and they have so much chemistry, like natural chemistry. So this
is what I was going to say. So if you watch the video, it's clear that like during quarantine, they were not in love at all. Like, they were just trying to be friends and just trying to figure it out. And they both were leaning on each other, but they were also dealing with a lot of trauma, which is probably really toxic. But watching the YouTube video, I just got this feeling that like something's not over.
That's what I mean. Like
something's not over. I just have this feeling that they're supposed to be together, and they're going to take probably a long time apart to like figure everything out. But like, I love Tyler. I love him. I love Hannah's not ability to care about anything. And I know it's a hot topic, and like, but I just see myself in her. Like, we share a lot of similar qualities, and I just want the best for the two of them.
Yes.
I just really think they're meant to be together.
I agree because
I really do. And
there's just really there's like a spark between them, and they just like understand each other. But exactly, I think it's just bad timing. Like,
and I think too, Tyler even said when the world says like, do this, he like is the type that runs in the opposite direction and is like, no. So with the whole world being like, oh my God, Tyler and Hannah, it made him want to run in the other direction.
For sure. I feel like that'd be a lot of people.
I think Hannah's feelings about Tyler are here. Like, you could see that she still cares about him a lot. She did all the reaching out. Even when Tyler was cold, she like gave it a second chance. And Tyler's feelings, I really do think he loves her and like really cares about her, but they're just a little deeper right now because he's scared to let them like come out because he probably feels like a third choice. I mean, no one wants to feel like that. You know what I mean? So I get it. Yeah. I think those two are meant to be together.
I agree. Like,
I really do.
I 1000% agree with you. I think it's just bad timing. 2 traumas happening. It's toxic. Their time will come, but they're definitely meant to be together.
Yeah, and I will post the link for the Hannah B's and Tyler's video in the description below so you guys can check it out and see for yourself. But anyway, I'm rooting for those two.
Me too.
Really, really strongly, I'm rooting for those two.
Fingers crossed.
Okay. Anyway,
continuing on
to Claire's season. I say loosely because who the frick knows what's gonna happen?
Who the hell?
But no, I'm so excited. There was a meme on Instagram or something, and they've teased this up. Like, there was a lot of spoilers that came out through like entertainment news outlets that aren't like Reality Steve spoilers that basically kind of tell you what's gonna happen in this season. But there was a lot of memes that were like, for a season where we really know what's gonna happen, I've never been more confused. And I'm like, honestly, yes.
She literally. In one of the teasers, it's like, you just blew up The Bachelor.
You just blew up The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
But how? Oh my God, it's crazy. But anyway, Jaiden, what were your first impressions when you found out that Claire was going to be The Bachelorette?
Honestly, I was happy. I was just kind of like, I guess I was like indifferent. Like, I wasn't happy. I wasn't like mad. So I would take the more happier side, just because I do feel like they pick a lot of young kids. What am I saying?
No,
young,
honestly, that's what it feels like. It feels like that sometimes.
Because it's like people my age who are going on the show, and like, I've been in a relationship for almost like 8 years, and I still, not that I don't feel ready, but I'm still terrified of like future and everything.
Like, the Bachelorette is supposed to be like, you go on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette like when you like have had trouble finding love, not like it's your first time and you're looking for a husband. You know what I mean?
I get that, but
it's supposed to be for the people that it's not working, you know?
And I think if you approach it like that, then cool, keep kids like our age or keep people.
I think if you're 21, you don't know if it hasn't worked. You know what I mean?
But I feel like if you want, this is where my head goes. If you are like struggling meeting someone and you're like, you know what, I just want to take this opportunity to meet a bunch of new people that aren't in my state, that aren't in my area, I'm going to go to The Bachelorette. Cool. But I feel like a lot of people our age go on there because they want to get married. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe
No, I think they want social media followers.
Well, that too, obviously. I feel like
it is what it is. That's the world we live in. And like, you're gonna, if you make it a long time and the audience likes you, you're gonna be an influencer after and like live your life, make that money. I don't judge. But I just think what's nice about Claire, and like you said, is that because she is older, we're gonna get older guys.
Yes.
That like, there's a few dads on here. There's like, and we have like real life occupations too, not just like brand influencer or like brand manager. Like there's a roofer, there's a doctor, there's an aeronautical engineer.
There's a professor.
There's a professor.
Like, I said that wrong, professor.
We're so passionate over here. But I just think I'm with you, Jaiden. I don't really have any ties to Claire because the first season I watched fully was Caitlyn's season of The Bachelorette. So I don't know what it was like on Juan Pablo's, and I didn't watch Greatest Seasons of All Time. I do know what she's like on Winter Games though, and I know she's a lot, which she lived up to everyone's expectation because she blew up The Bachelorette. But we're in quarantine. This was done in a whole different way. Maybe it's going to be interesting. And then for Matt James's season, maybe we can get back to regular, but I also love him. So I just can't wait for him to be on my team.
I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Claire.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess just I am excited about the age. Like, I'm excited to see mature men, mature relationships, hopefully, but you know.
Who knows? Some of the previews, my God.
That's what I'm saying.
For those of you that, I'm going to go back for a second, that don't know who Matt James is. So Matt James is actually one of Tyler Cameron's best friends. And he's a very good looking guy. He was cast for Claire's season, which in the Bachelor world, if you like know someone, it is a lot easier to be casted on the show. But he ended up being cast as the Bachelor right away and not being put on Claire's season. And he's the first Black Bachelor that the series has had, which is really exciting. So we love to see the diversity and cultural awareness being brought into the show, little bits at a time. But yeah, I'm excited for his season. They're filming right now, and I can't wait.
That's going to be phenomenal.
All right.
But back to Claire.
Let's get into the season, because those of you that don't watch The Bachelorette are like, are you effing kidding me? Get on.
Yeah, like skip.
Let me tell you, you guys thought I liked Quote of the Moment. No. I like Wake Up and Smell the Roses. Okay, so Jaiden and I were watching, and then about like a third of the way through, we were like, oh crap, we should probably take notes because we're gonna have to talk about this on the podcast.
Yep.
So my notes basically start with limo entrances. with the man that decided to propose and then open the ring box and it was a fart.
That was
Jaiden
so
laughed so hard and I just went, I was like, I don't respond well to fart comedy. I just don't think it's funny. You know? I don't think Claire thought it was funny either.
It's so immature. I don't know, but I just thought it was funny. I'm like, you know what? Live your life. Make it a little light.
Farts have never really made me laugh. You know what I mean? And then he got down on his knee and opened a ring box, and it was like this butt that farted, and I was just like, oh.
It was amazing. And he said something like, oh, I just had to let it go or something.
Yeah, and I don't know who it was. I wish I wrote his name down, but I didn't. So that's that.
Yeah, anyways, that made me chuckle. I love a good chuckle.
Yeah. It's funny, but I just don't respond well to fart comedy, so I just didn't connect with that entrance.
I do think that comment that Faith said made me laugh harder than the actual joke.
Yeah, you did laugh really hard at that. Yeah, so that was that one. I don't know his name. And then Dale got out of the limo. Dale is apparently the one that Claire blows up the Bachelorette for. Dale got out of the limo and I went, oh, I get it.
Faith was like,
get it.
Oh, wow, I understand. Like, this makes sense.
Very attractive, tall drink of water.
I think he was like a former NFL player.
He was. And okay, I will say on the show, they usually say former NFL player, but it's like they made a practice squad and never actually had game time. Dale actually played a couple games in the NFL. So that title is appropriate.
Okay, cool.
That profession is appropriate. Yeah, Dale's hot. So I'm excited to see what happens there. Does Dale like Claire as much as Claire likes Dale? I also noticed that, like, I think I talk about this later, so I'm going to wait, but try and go in order the episode. I also really enjoy how the editing is, like, leaning into the rumors for the season.
Yes. Like they're really
instead of trying to
foreshadowing it.
Yeah, instead of trying to pretend that, like, it's not a thing. Where, like, literally the clips are like, Claire's gone. Does this mean we get a new Bachelorette? Like, we're just, like, leaning into it. And I like that. I think it's smart.
They're taking it and running with it.
I think it's really smart. Then this brings us to the end of the limo entrances because, like I said, I forgot to write information down. But do you have a favorite one, Jaiden? One that, like, sticks out in your brain?
Oh, that oh my gosh, the one that, spoiler alert, so if you haven't watched it, skip this part. But the one that she gave her first kiss to, the guy from Hamilton.
Oh, the Canadian.
Yeah.
He was just nervous.
He was just like, yeah, he was so cute.
But he was so cute. He's like this big guy, so you don't expect him to be nervous.
And also I really loved Easy
when he popped out of the banner. And then got, like, he was so confident and then stood in front of Claire and he went, he just, like, got so nervous. There was a lot of guys that were nervous. And honestly, that made me kind of happy.
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh, you're genuine. Like, you're genuine about it.
Yeah, because we were talking about this. There was one guy that was a little bit too confident and we're like, ooh, you're cocky.
I'm like, take a step back, bro.
I forget who it was, but we both were like,
we'll try to get better at knowing contestants and writing names down, but it's very hard the first week.
We were just overwhelmed. We were overwhelmed.
Yeah. I don't think I really have a favorite limo entrance. Like, Easy was great because I just love him. That he's got a salmon colored suit on because those are from Hamilton. That suit is everywhere, so I love that. Nothing really blew me away. A lot of it was just guys getting out of the limo and being nervous, which makes sense. It's quarantine. We haven't talked to a girl forever. We just didn't know how.
Wait, do you remember the guy who was like
the guy that squeezed her hands?
I forgot about. And she was like, ow.
He goes, my friends say I make a terrible first impression. Squeezes her hands and then goes, oh, you have green eyes. Only 2% of the world has green eyes. And then, like,
leaves.
Walked away. I was like,
too much happening.
Oh.
No, that one was brutal. I was like, poor guy. And he got booted.
I don't think he made it very far. Yeah.
He did.
Well, he broke her hands. It makes sense.
But the guy that was like, let's just take a breath. The one who was like all zen up in his bedroom?
Oh, Ben, Army vet from Venice, California. Super hot. Ben, I also saw Ben and went,
Oh,
hello.
she did?
Hi, Ben.
She said, hi, Ben.
But yeah, and I actually have next on my notes, just shout out to Easy. Like, he had me cracking up through the entire limo entrance segment. He's gonna be like he's gonna be the narrator of the season for sure.
Like the comedic relief.
He's gonna be the guy that's just like, I don't know what's going on. First, this is happening. Like, he's just gonna be that middle ground that is just the narrator, and I'm so excited for it.
Like, someone brought macaroons or something, and he goes, oh, I didn't know we were supposed to bring cookies. Who brought the cookies?
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so funny. Yeah, so then the cocktail party kind of got going, and then there was, a bunch of conversations, and I just started thinking, like, if she does end up picking Dale and ending the season, and those part of the rumors are true, and they aren't together right now, the season is not going to age very well. Like, people already, again, Claire is very much like Hannah. We love her, we don't. And if she blew up the Bachelorette and didn't pick Dale, or like picked Dale, but they're not together right now.
Like something happened behind the scenes.
It's just not going to age well. Like, it's not going to age well at all.
No, because think about it. All those guys like took the time off from their jobs. Like,
absolutely.
Technically, like, risked their lives with like this pandemic, like traveled, did all this stuff for her, had a Q-tip touch their brains just to meet her. And then for her to like 2 weeks in be like, no, I'm not going to give anyone else a chance because I already met who I like.
Yeah. I mean, but also it could happen where, like, even if she's not with Dale, Tayshia could come in and give us the season we've been waiting for.
Yep.
And everything's fine. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm just saying, we could be in some hot water if Claire and Dale aren't, like, married, having a baby, buying a house when the season's over.
Already pregnant, already have 2 kids.
I will say, Claire and Dale were talking, and Dale used the word empath on reality television.
Yes. I know, like,
we love spiritual awareness.
Yes, I find a lot of them are like very aware of their spirituality and like because they're older, they're more mature, they understand themselves more. But I really love the maturity of this season and how we're very aware of who we are.
Yep.
And how we're having actual conversations that mean something.
And speaking of actual conversations, the contestant from Hamilton that Jaiden likes, Blake, okay, there's 2 Blakes, hold on. Blake.
I don't even remember his name.
Blake Moynes.
Okay.
So there's 2 Blake M's. Claire pulled him aside and was basically like, you were the only one that reached out to me during quarantine, like, although you broke the rules. And she was very adamant to say, like, you broke the rules, but like, I appreciated it, I liked it, like, thank you. I still don't know if I'm buying that. I still don't know if I'm buying that her and Dale weren't speaking. And she's told multiple people, like, in Bachelor Nation that she's friends with, and like Lauren Zima, who's a reporter, that she didn't talk to anybody. And I believe in love at first sight, but like, it's not like each week we see on TV is a week in Bachelor time. Like, each week we see is like 2 days. So you're telling me you fell head over heels in love, we're ready to blow up this show in 10 days? I don't know if I buy it.
That's where that's like a little bit of a red flag for me. And I get it. Like, you can totally meet someone and be like, wow, like, I'm feeling something. But she straight up was like, I think I just met my husband.
Yeah, like,
and I'm
she
like,
was very, and I appreciate that. Like, I'm someone that falls hard and falls fast, but I'm just like, I don't think, like, I mean, and maybe you do know it from when you first see it, but don't forget, marriage is a 2-way street. Like,
yes,
maybe Dale needed more time. And speaking of that, so Claire gave Dale her first impression rose, which means he gets to come back next week. And no one is talking about how Claire reached for him to kiss him. He, like, I don't know if you saw that. He not like pulled back, but was like nervous, and she was like reaching for him.
Oh yes, and then yes, like she went to go lean in, and then he stopped,
like, pulled away,
and then he was like, "Oh, I'm so nervous,"
and she reached even more. I have never, and I've watched Caitlyn, JoJo, Becca, Rachel, Hannah. This is my 6th season. of The Bachelorette, I have never in the first night seen a Bachelorette reach for a kiss. Never.
It's usually the other way around.
Yes.
I did find that. I remember that, and I was like, ooh, that's awkward. But then he was like, oh my God, I'm nervous. And then he goes, okay, whatever. And then just like does it.
I know, but it was just like, oh, I don't know. It was weird for me. I'm like, stop reaching.
I know. I'm like, he doesn't want it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird for me. I'm like, okay, I get we're confident and I love the confidence, and I know it's your show. I know you're the Bachelorette. You can do whatever the heck you want. But I was just like, oh.
I feel like what's going to stunt her or like mess this up, if it is Dale that she's with, is her like being too pushy, like too much too soon.
Absolutely.
And I'm like I said, I love the confidence. I love that she knows what she wants. And I love that she falls so hard so fast. Like that she has such a big heart and is willing to like let so much love in and like give that love. But you also have to be aware of the other person in front of you.
It's a two-way street. 100%.
There's no other way to say it. Yeah.
So that's Dale. Okay, Jason. Jason's 31 and he's a former professional football lineman from Arlington, Virginia. And he gets my award for most adorable contestant of the episode because he was just so nervous from start to finish in like the best way. He just had like, he was the one that he had never seen anyone as beautiful except for his mom.
I forget this one.
Jamie, he was so smiley. I think if you saw a picture of him, you would remember.
Okay.
But he gets my most adorable contestant award for the episode because
what's his name?
So
I'm gonna
go. Jason 30. I don't know what his last name is because there's only one Jason, so he's just Jason.
Jason Bachelor.
31 Bachelorette. You might get Jason Mesnick though, so careful. While Jaden's looking up that, we talked a lot about Tyler Cameron today. He was the Tyler C of Bachelor Nation, and he is the Tyler C. Well, there's a Tyler C on this season. And we were nervous because there can only be one. Like when you have someone as good as Tyler Cameron, there can't be another Tyler C. Did you find the picture of him?
I remember him. Yeah. He was really cute.
He was so cute and nervous the whole episode. It was
like amazing. Just so sweet. He literally what they said, where he was smiling ear to ear. He was like
just the whole time.
Like he met her and he was glowing. It was adorable.
It was so good. But good news, Tyler Cameron is and will always be the OG Tyler C.
Yes.
The Tyler C on this season is a snitch. Snitches get stitches in the Bachelor world. And when I say stitches, I just mean you get sent home that week. Like, it happens every season. And every season, the person that starts the drama or tattletales on someone else is the one that gets sent home. And that happens here. Tyler apparently knows a girl that Yusuf, whatever his name was messaging before the show. Which I want to talk about that for a second. Because we talked about it a little when we were watching it.
Yes.
Here for the right reasons. Coming in hot, episode 1. Coming in hot. Here's my 2 cents. If I was the Bachelorette, especially during Corona, if I was in Claire's position right now, I would be super naive if I thought that no one was talking to any girls or anyone before they came to me. Because the cast was released, they found out they were going, and then everything was stopped because of Corona. And you don't know when you're going back to film. You don't.
No.
I think someone said they waited like 137 days. Like, since they found out.
They kept saying it, yeah.
So, like, you don't know. So, he was messaging other girls before the show. Okay. Messaging other girls and then coming on The Bachelorette is different than, like, telling a girl that he likes them and he's going to go on the show, but like to wait for him and having like a girlfriend before the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where it's different. So like if I was the Bachelorette, I probably would have sent both of them home because like.
Just annoying. Like stop causing drama.
On night 1. At least give me till week 3 before you decide to bring this up.
Yeah.
But I would just like be like, okay, well, was she your girlfriend? No? Okay. Well then let's focus on me now that we're here and then we'll figure it out. Like, she's not picking him anyway. What does it matter?
I know. And then again, spoiler alert, then she kept him. And I was just like, why?
She kept Yosef, the person who apparently was talking to girls, and she sent Tyler C home, which good, because we can only have one Tyler C in Bachelor Nation. So skedaddle. But my thing, though, is Tyler C brings this up. He was talking to girls. Claire was allegedly talking to Dale. And now she's patronizing people for doing that before, like, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like,
it's exactly how you stated it earlier. There's a difference between like just talking to someone before the show, because you are single, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want, and then telling someone, hey, like, wait for me.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, you know, there's a total difference, and you can't patronize someone for their past. You can't tell someone what to do when they're single.
Yep.
You can only not control, but you can only, I guess, get upset or be affected by what happens when you're in that relationship and when it's currently happening.
Correct.
If you focus on the past the entire time, it's going to mess up your future. So just relax.
I just thought that was a little bit skeptical, especially given her cast was out. She said she didn't, but she easily could have talked to any of them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think in a regular Bachelorette season, maybe that would have a little bit more traction. But right now, in the season you're in, different rules. We're in a totally different Bachelorette playing field than we've ever been before.
Yeah.
And she has to keep that in mind as the Bachelorette. Blake from Hamilton got the first kiss of the season. Go Canada, go.
My heart.
Canada, go Ontario, go. He's a cutie. I do like Blake Menard, I think is his last name. No, Moynes, sorry. Blake Moynes. He's a wildlife manager from Hamilton, Ontario. Blake Menard is also there. He's a grooming specialist from Phoenix. Different life. But Blake Moynes is the typical Canadian, like, in his intro video they posted on the Bachelorette Facebook, he was playing hockey. He's like a bigger guy. He's got a beard. Like, he's very Ontario. Like, you look at him and you're like, you got a lot of plaid in your closet. You're going out for a rip with your friends. You know what I mean? Like, you're Canadian. You're so Canadian. And I love it. And then, like I said, Dale got the first impression rose.
Yeah.
All of the Bachelorettes in the last years have given their winners the first impression rose. Claire gave it to Dale. Interesting. Very interesting. And then my last point is just about one of the contestants, Kenny, the boy band manager, who doesn't like to wear a suit. He just looks like an aged Luke Pell from JoJo's season.
See, I didn't watch JoJo's season.
Yeah, he just, if anyone watched JoJo's season, he just looks like an older Luke Pell. And there's one person we didn't talk about, Jaiden, and we got to talk about him. We got to talk about Mr. Harvard himself.
Freaking Bennett.
With the scarf in 100-degree weather consistently.
I think he pulled up in like a Rolls Royce,
He pulled up in a Rolls Royce.
I guess
Jane's not happy about Bennett.
He's just, I can already tell he's going to be annoying. And I know that's so rude. Like, you went to Harvard. I get it. Like, that is such a great accomplishment. I am not tearing that down at all. Like, congratulations
people that go to Harvard like to tell people they went to Harvard.
And his fucking scarf, like, dear God.
I heard this on, I think it was Chicks in the Office, so I want to credit them. They do a great Bachelor recap. If you guys are looking for more Bachelor content, check out Chicks in the Office. They were like, now, was he doing it night one as like a joke to almost make fun of the people that go to like, that are like that, and we'll maybe see a change from him in the season? Or is that Bennett and that's just what we're going to get?
I hope not.
We'll have to see. But they did say on Chicks in the Office, they didn't know his last name, so they called him like Bennett Worthington the Fourth. And I was
honestly,
like,
that's probably his last name.
It's very accurate. But yeah, so that's basically everything that happened. We did get a rose ceremony, thank goodness, because sometimes you never know with Bachelor Nation. So really quick, here's everyone that got a rose. Dale, Blake Moynes, Easy, Ben, Riley, Zach J, Tyler S, Joe, Jason, Damar, Chasen, Jordan C, Blake Menard, Kenny, Brendan, Garen, Ed, Bennett, Zach C, Jay, Brandon, Ivan, and Yosef.
Oh, Ivan.
Yeah, the first week is hard. I still don't know all of them like super well.
Yeah.
But next week we get into the dates and all that stuff. I really think we're going to get 3 solid weeks of Claire. But at the end of that, so we already had week 1. I think we're going to get 2 more weeks of Claire. But the end of the 3rd week, she's going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's where it's going to cliffhanger. Then the 4th episode, that 4th week is going to be all her making the decision, Chris Harrison telling her they blew up the Bachelorette, them telling the guys, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And then it's going to end with the limo scene that we saw of someone else coming. And that's when we're not going to find out, but we'll see someone step out. Like we'll see a leg come out of the limo. And then in that 5th episode, we'll see that Tayshia came to replace Claire. That's my guess.
You are the producer. You would know.
I know. If you guys think I'm good, you should hear my friend Elena talk about The Bachelor. We'll have to have her on one time as a guest for the recap, but like, she's crazy. But that's wake up and smell the roses. And we did. We just inhaled the roses.
Yeah, we inhaled it. That was quite the segment.
And honestly, like I said, I'm pretty passionate about it. They're probably going to be that long anyway. Brace yourself. We'll put a little timestamp. We'll make sure to put a timestamp in the Simplecast recording and or podcast recording, sorry, and the YouTube. So if you don't like The Bachelorette, you can skip over it and jump into what you're really here for, which is our
three G's.
Give it to us, Jaiden.
Okay, welcome to the good, the great, the gross. What we did during our week, and let's just get right into it. So, my gross. Okay, guys, I bruised my nose. Let me see if I can get up close and personal. It's like this little right on like the bridge of my nose towards my left eye. I'm like, wait, is this my left or my right? Left eye for me, right eye for you. It is so bruised. It literally hurts so much. I thought I broke my nose, and this is why. I tried to be an acro star.
We're gonna put the video on our IG as a promo for this episode.
Oh my God, no, you're not.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
If we hit 400 followers, which is only like 20 away, so tell all your friends to follow us, and we'll post the video of Jaiden bruising her nose. It's funny.
Guys, I bent in half like a freaking lawn chair and smashed my face off the ground. Like, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look.
Get us to 400 followers so we can post that video.
Guys, my back and my neck are in so much pain that I'm actually going to a chiropractor after we record this episode because I need help.
It's not funny, but it is funny.
I'm telling you guys, like my feet touched my eyelashes.
They did. 100% they did.
And my nose sunk into the floor. Like I was flush with the ground. So that was my gross because my nose still hurts today and I'm in so much pain.
Oh my God. No, you guys. She told me about it and just hearing, I was like, oh, it's probably not that bad. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh, it's bad. Oh, it's really bad.
I got up off the floor after, guys, and I tried dancing a bit and then I was like, oh no, that hurts. Turned off the camera, went to go where I like smashed my face off the ground. My lipstick print was on the ground, like as if I kissed the floor.
Her full face was in the floor.
Like my eyebrows, my nose, my chin makeup, like my face was on the floor. That's how smushed I was to the ground.
It's amazing.
It was a disaster.
Jaiden, since we're mixing it up with this episode and a new segment, should we go gross for gross, good for good, great for great?
Let's do it.
Okay. So my gross is a little bit less physically painful than Jaiden's, but a little bit more financially painful.
The package that came in the door.
Well, that actually, because I got a notification, if you go back in season 1 when we were talking about our Black community resources, I talked about Alex L. And I ordered her book, After the Rain, and that's what's in there. And I'm so excited to read it.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
Check that out on Amazon. Yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, my gross is just the cost of shipping. I wish there could be like a flat $5 shipping rate, like always.
You know what, Faith?
Unless you want to pay for express shipping.
I don't feel bad for you because you always pay for express shipping.
One time. I paid for express shipping one time.
No.
Yes.
It's been more than once, for sure.
I swear.
Or even if it's not express shipping, it'll be like,
buy this to get free shipping. Yeah. Okay.
Spend $90 more and get free shipping.
That you got me. That you got me. But no, I've only ever paid for express shipping one time, and it was for my Nike shoes, and I do not regret that. I do not regret that $40. Anyway, feel personally attacked. Now, I know that these like mail delivery services, so like Canada Post, UPS, FedEx, they have to make money somehow. Like, I get that, and that's where shipping comes from. I'm just saying that like when all of the good Christmas gifts, and yes, I've started shopping already, are things you have to order online and get shipped from somewhere in Americaville, Texas, it's already more monies because of the exchange rate and now shipping. You know, like, is it going to stop me from buying things online regardless of where it's from? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Am I going to continue to be mad about it? Yes.
Yes.
But I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to continue to complain about the shipping costs. You know what I mean?
It is gross.
It's gross. I mean, I love giving gifts though. So I thrive at Christmas time solely for the buying of the gifts and the giving of the gifts and all that stuff. So I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to spend money, but
it's just annoying.
It's just annoying.
Yeah. We need to, you know what? Canada Post, not even Canada Post. Figure out your shipping costs, people.
Yeah. Just figure it out.
Even just like $5. Just $5.
Just like a standard fee across Canada, you know? International, I can understand. You got to go through duties and whatever. But just give me a standard rate. That's all I'm asking for.
That is really gross.
I know. Thank you for understanding.
Okay. On to our goods, Faith.
Okay. Start us off.
Mine is my time management.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I've been carving out more time for friends and family this week, and it's felt so darn good.
The girl.
Yes, I've been stressing less about the things I can't control.
Good.
And putting more of my energy into things that I can and the things that make me the happiest. So, example, the other day Connor came over in the morning, because usually we hang out at night. So this time he came over in the morning. We made breakfast. We enjoyed it outside with the beautiful weather. We played a game of cards. We watched a movie. Like, it was just so relaxing. So we really figured out.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Right. Because
so proud of you guys. 8 a.m. is much better than 4 a.m.
And it was
every time.
It was so much fun because we actually got to spend time with each other instead of me just going over, watching a movie and falling asleep.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So that was really, really nice. And then even Faith and I watched The Bachelorette together, and she made me grilled cheese, and
we did have grilled cheese.
We had so much fun that night just watching it. Even if we were both tired from work, we were just enjoying it.
And we were tired, but the second that Bachelorette comes on the TV, it's a new life's brought into you. Except if you're Grandma Lois, and I know, Grandma, you're listening to this, and you hated the first 40 minutes of this podcast, but you listened to it anyway, and I thank you for that. She does not like The Bachelor. She does not understand it.
That's okay. We
still love you. Anyway. We love you anyway.
We still love you. But it's just the little things that are making me the happiest right now, and it's because I'm doing something about my time.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm trying to enjoy every moment of it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Let's hear you.
My good is going to take 4 seconds.
Amazing.
The Bachelorette is back.
The end.
Please scroll back to the beginning of the podcast
to understand her good.
How I really feel about this.
Amazing.
End of good.
On to our great. Mine was Thanksgiving Day.
Twins!
Really?
Yay! Yeah.
So on Thanksgiving Day, on the one day, Connor and I have this tradition where we go to Teeson's, we pick apples, we eat the poutine, we get gifts for our families, we just enjoy the day together. And it's been our 2nd year anniversary of this tradition.
Very good.
I absolutely love it. Connor and I are just super in love with the fall weather, so any fall activity just makes us the happiest, and it's right up our alley. Plus, the poutine is phenomenal and to die for. And it was just a great day all in all. So you can't go wrong. And we're going to keep doing that for Thanksgivings to come. It's our own little thing.
It's perfect. I love that you guys started a tradition.
Yeah,
it's
amazing. What about your Thanksgiving?
So mine is it is Thanksgiving, but it's more that I got to spend some time with my grandparents.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grandma Jen, Grandma Lois, Papa Tony. So it started on Sunday. Well, actually in my family in general, to be honest, but it started on Sunday. My Grandma Jen's going through some health stuff. So I took her to do her appointment that she had, my sister and I. So I got to spend some time with her, and we don't really see that side of the family as much. So that was really nice. And then we had Thanksgiving at my house, and it was supposed to be just the 4 of us in my family, and then my grandma and grandpa, but then my aunt ended up having to work. So my uncle and my 2 cousins came over, and I really haven't seen them in a long time either. And that's the side that we're super close with. And like, I usually see them all the time. So it was so nice to like see everyone again. And like, my family's a big sports family. Like I sent Jaiden the Snapchat, and my uncle and my uncle and my cousins had put money on this game where they could have won $400. And then the Indianapolis Colts did not come through. And we were, I was like my dad and I are laughing because it's just like, we're so passionate about it. And these are going crazy. And I just like, it made my heart so full and so happy. And then after dinner I taught my grandparents Mexican Train. Because
such a fun game, guys.
We always play chicken foot. They love dominoes. So we always play chicken foot. But I was like, no, I have a new game. Let's do Mexican Train. So we played that. We only did half though, up to 6.
Okay.
12 to 6. So I won on Sunday. And then on Monday, because
I had to put that in there.
I did. Well, if Grandma Lois and Papa Tony are listening, I'm waiting for my name to go on the fridge where we put the winners. So make that happen. And then on Monday, because it was a holiday, I didn't really have anything to do. We didn't have dance. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to play some dominoes again. So my mom and I went to my Papa Tony and Grandma Lois's house. We played Mexican Train again. My grandma has a CD player. She put on Shania Twain. we were singing and playing Mexican Train. And then we listened to some Michael Bublé. And just in case anyone's keeping track, I won on Monday too, also.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, but it was just like, my phone was away. I was just like spending time with my family. It was a great Thanksgiving. So I'm super thankful for my family and super thankful for that time, and hope we can do it again soon with my cousins and everything too, because I miss them.
Yeah.
I miss those people.
I'm telling you, family time is like the best time.
It's great. It's great time. Family time.
Like that sounds like such a fun Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And my family is the family where we're not nice to each other, but we're not nice to each other because we love each other. You know what I mean? Like,
we
just thrive off of like picking on each other.
Yep.
Like, it's for my cousin Josh, it's always like how big he is. He's like, he's tall and big, and like he got in our hot tub and my dad was like, fair displacement of the water when he got in there. And my uncle just starts like laughing and like chirping like, but like sports and like whatever. And it's just, some people be like, oh my God, that's so mean. But like, if you grow up in my family, like,
yeah,
we have tough skin. This is just like, is how it is. And like, I wouldn't trade it for the world, honestly. Because
my gosh,
we can be there for each other when we need it. And we can also just be there to remind you that like, you ain't hot shit. Take a seat, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
That's very much like our family too.
Awesome.
We have similar family dynamics, and it's exactly like that. So I totally get.
Amazing.
We like thrive off of making fun of each other.
It was, yeah. It's something as simple as like my cousin, he just turned 19. He was like, babe, get your Instagram. I got to show you something. And I was like, did you like my Instagram picture? And he goes, no. And I was like my Instagram picture, then you can show me. And he was like, are you serious? I went, yeah.
Yep.
He like pulls out his phone, likes my picture. My other cousin who's my age goes, I didn't like it yet either. Maybe I should do that. And like takes out his phone. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to show me? I'm like, I'm just being a brat.
You're like, now you can tell me what you need to
awesome.
do.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I was very thankful. And my aunt came over after work, and her, my mom and I went in the hot tub. I love my Aunt Jill. She's great. But it was a great weekend. I was really happy.
Those are some good 3Gs. Yeah. We both had great weeks.
So good. Let's get into this, since we clearly haven't already, although we've talked for forever, but it's worth it because it's The Bachelor. Let's talk about our emotion for this week. Are you ready? The emotion for this week is another not so in your face emotion. Mm-hmm. But it is one. Guilt.
I already feel guilty.
Oh, Jaiden. Jaiden was nervous to talk about this. I'm putting you on blast here. Because she didn't want to feel sad. And I was like, well, you know what? Figure it out.
Yeah, she was like, too bad, so sad. We got a podcast to do.
We got a podcast to do. Figure it out. But I tried to make mine lighter, so we'll keep the energy nice and light. But
nice.
According to Psychology Today, guilt is a natural response to making a mistake or doing something that one later regrets. And the article also says that some people may attempt to keep guilt away by rationalizing or minimizing the harmful effect that their actions had on others, when it actually just may be more helpful to acknowledge the act and then offer an apology, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I talk about that in my feelings as well. But
I like that. Because, well, let's dive in and then we'll talk. Let's dive in.
Jaiden. I'm sure we'll have a big conversation about it. Here we go,
So,
people. Get ready.
Welcome to the Fizz and Feelings, the part of the pod where we talk about our emotions and get deep or get light. Who knows? So, kind of going off of like how you were explaining guilt, it's so true that you can either try to rationalize it or you can just accept it and then move on.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a really good thing that I need to think about, and I just wanted to get that out, or else I would have forgot.
Love it.
But I am the guiltiest person to ever walk this planet because I feel guilty.
Nothing to be guilty for.
That's literally what I feel guilty about everything, even if it isn't my fault. I blame it on myself because I feel like I could have maybe changed something about the situation to make it pan out differently. Like, everything is always my fault, and it's so self-deprecating, and it's 1000% self-inflicted and something that I need to work on, just because I'm the type of person that takes on other people's emotions. So I'm easily influenced by however that person is feeling in front of me, which is so dangerous and so unhealthy. But I'm learning how to deal with it, kind of like what I was saying, like I'm learning how to rationalize it, or I'm learning how to acknowledge it and then let it go. So I wrote down reasons why I feel guilty, and there are 5 reasons. I
like the approach you're taking here.
So I wrote down 5 of my top reasons of like why I feel guilty.
Give it to us.
My first one is not spending enough time with my loved ones.
Mm-hmm. Which you're working on.
That's what I'm proud of myself about that. But as much as I'm an extrovert, I also would much rather just be at home with my family and close friends. And with my busy life, I find I never really get to connect with my loved ones as much as I'd like to because of the nature of my life, which makes me feel so freaking guilty because I'm not giving them the love and attention that they need in order to feel connected to me, which makes me upset because I sometimes can't fulfill that void for them because I'm only one person and can only do so much in a day. Yeah. So this one definitely affects me the most. And especially as I get older, I realize that people are really only on this earth for a short amount of time. So I want to try to maximize that time as much as I can.
And I think, Jaiden, I just want to say, because I know this is a verbal reminder for myself.
Yeah.
I know that's a thing that we know. And sometimes, I don't want to say we forget, but our priorities just are a little different. And then things happen where we're reminded. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you.
It usually comes in threes. Continue.
And it's just like when things happen that remind us that we have a limited time here and we need to like prioritize a little bit better. Mm-hmm. That's a time where I think a lot of people feel guilty. And I know I did when I talked to you about my situation where I was like, look, I know that I feel like this and I may not feel the best when I leave that situation, but I know the right thing to do is this, and moving forward, all I can do is be better.
Exactly.
Because I can't change the past. So use those, like Jaiden said, those, that reminder that, you know, things happen and you realize people aren't here forever. Mm-hmm. Don't let it bother you and cause that guilt as much as it would usually, and try to change the perspective to make it like, I just have to do better from here on out.
Like anytime I feel guilty, I use it as like a signal to tell me, okay, like I need to change something. I feel guilty about this because I probably need to shift something in my life to make myself feel better about this current situation.
Totally.
It's like, sometimes it's not always just letting it go. It's not always just like rationalizing it. Sometimes it's just shifting your needs in order to make you feel less guilty. So
100%.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to focus on this part of my life a little bit more and carve out more time for my family and friends, whether that's like a text, a call, a quick lunch date, whatever. I just need to be better at this because not only does it affect me, it affects the ones that I love the most. So
totally.
That's something I need to work on.
Love it.
My second one is saying no. Like, just in general, I have a really hard time declining something or saying no to someone. I'm very like, yes, I'll do whatever you need whenever you want. I got you. And it could be as simple as like, can you cover me this day? And it's like, I feel bad that I have a family thing or I have a prior engagement to follow because I'm like, oh, I can't help you. But like, that's out of my control. I can't really do anything about that. But I still feel guilty because I'm like, well, like, why did I have to do something this day? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But then it can go on a deeper level, and it could be like when I know the person needs help, but it's not beneficial for my own well-being. So like whether that's like they need help emotionally or constantly using me for their own benefit, which I know is wrong and unhealthy, and what they're doing is not beneficial for me, I still have a hard time saying no.
Yeah.
And it's because I feel like I'm not meeting their standards or needs of what they imagine me to be, which is so unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because I should never be living up to someone else's standard of myself, because it just makes no sense. I should only be living up to my own standard and what I feel is beneficial for my own growth and well-being.
Totally.
And this took me such a long time to realize. I really struggled with this in high school because I really just wanted to be what everyone thought of me instead of just being me.
Which is a very common problem in high school. It's not often that you find someone that between the ages of 14 and 18 know exactly who they are. Like that's the time when you're figuring it out and like you think you know it. I remember being 16 and just being so confident that this is who I am. Like I know who I am, and I look back and I'm like, you did not know the half of who you are. And I know I'm going to look back when I'm 30 and be like, you did not know F all when you were 24. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're always learning. And I just think like we talked about acknowledging it.
Yeah.
And being better moving forward.
Yeah. So I just tell myself like, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
You're not a bad person because you say no. You can't do everything.
Yeah.
Know your limits, know what you're capable of, and just ride that wave.
Yep.
So going on to my third one.
Number three, my lord, pick number three. Check.
Number three, my lord.
Pick number three, my lord.
What do you got? He holds up a two.
Yeah,
pick number three, my lord. So number three, my lord, is when I forget.
We are on one this episode. I love it.
It's good. This is amazing. But when I forget to do something important or like forget an important date. So I'm the most forgetful person. Like if I don't write it down, it will not stay in my brain. And I'm the worst for remembering little things like my friend's favorite food or what day Connor works or what time my mom has an appointment at that I have to drive her to. It's like the very, very little things.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes there's big things too, but that just adds like an elevated version of guilt and whatever. And it's not that I'm not listening to the person when they're talking to me. I think I just have so many things going on in my brain at once
100%.
that once that conversation is over, it's out of my brain.
Yeah.
Which I need to be better at. So if anybody has any tips on like how to fix this part of me, help me out. Like maybe this is karma for never reading a book when I was growing up because I hated reading.
Okay. That escalated a little bit.
Honestly, because like I feel like it's my karma for never reading when I was younger.
Oh,
yeah, that's what it is.
Maybe you and the universe just need to have a little bit of a chat and figure out how to balance that out a little bit better.
Just help me out, and please, if that ever happens to like a friend or even like you, Faith, it's not that I'm not listening. Like I fully heard the conversation and I'm present in the conversation.
Sometimes we need reminders. I can tell when it's blatant, like you were not listening to a single word that I just said, or when it was like, no, you were listening, but there was a lot happening. So we just need like a gentle reminder about this. Cause I'm the same way sometimes, like, and I have a pretty good memory, so it doesn't happen as often. But there's sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I totally said I would do that and I forgot. Like,
I'm the worst at it. Like I need those gentle reminders. It's just, I get so guilty because I'm like, oh, well, they remember everything about me. They remember my favorite food. They remember my favorite color. They remember that I had this that day. And it makes me feel like they think I don't care about them. And that's not the case at all. It's just, I have baby brain, but no baby in my belly.
There's a lot going up. Pregnancy brain, but no pregnancy. Pregnancy brain, hold the child.
Pregnancy, yeah, hold the child. Continuing on to my fourth one. When someone is mad at me, I get guilty.
I feel that so hard. So hard I feel that.
Even if there's no valid reason for them to be mad at me, I still feel bad for making someone feel indifferent in the situation.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, someone could be frustrated about or with me about the dumbest thing, and I will still feel guilty. Like 1000%. I struggle when people don't like me. We all know that. I struggle when people aren't happy with me. And I start to put the blame on myself because in my brain, I clearly did something wrong in order for them to feel this way.
My brain goes, oh, they answered me a little bit shortly or like whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what did I do in the last 24 hours to cause a problem? Oh my God, is it because I did this? Oh my God, they're mad at me. Oh my God, how do I fix it? Like it starts with, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And I just like, it just like eats me up. I feel that.
Because in my brain, there's always a reason for everything.
Yeah.
Like, I did this to make them do that and so on and so forth. But sometimes
A happened, which led to B, which led to C, which led to D because I did this. Yeah.
And so on and so forth. And it's really not like that sometimes.
No, it's really not.
Sometimes people can just project their problems onto you and make it look like a you problem when it's really like a them problem.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people just have a bad day.
Just a really bad day. Yep.
Maybe jealousy is a thing. And like, there could be so many factors. Like, I could go on and on and on and list more.
Yeah.
But it's not always an issue caused by one person to the next, or like, it's not always me inflicting that frustration onto them. So that's something I'm still learning and I still struggle with, because when someone is mad at me in the slightest, exactly what Faith said, I go, well, this happened for that reason and this is what's going on now, and then now they're mad at me and I need to fix it, but what the hell happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot. So I'm happy I'm not the only one with that one.
No, believe me.
And then my very last one, this one's funny, is when I say or think something negative, just in general, when I have any negative thoughts. Just because I'm not usually one to say or think anything negative, but I mean, I am human and I have feelings.
Jaiden, pause for a second. Oh, I thought my dog was out the door. So sorry, everyone. Continue.
We're good. As I was saying, I'm not one to usually think negatively or say something negatively, but I mean, I am human and I have feelings. I'm not this God-sent person who only thinks of like rainbows and butterflies. So in certain situations, sometimes I may feel a certain way about someone or something, and I really, really, really try hard to be neutral and look at all perspectives. But sometimes you just need to vent. You just have to vent. You have to let it out, whether that's writing it in your journal, only talking to like your mom or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your significant other, your close friends, whatever. But just for me, when I think something negative, I immediately get mad at myself for even voicing it, because I know I'm only feeling this way in the moment and I won't always feel like this. It's just like a blip of time and then I'll get over it. Mm-hmm. So I get upset that I even voiced it to begin with and put it into the universe, because sometimes the things you say can get back to that person or can be misunderstood, which would make me even more upset than just stomaching how I feel in the moment and then letting it go.
Absolutely.
I just hate ever feeling like I'm a negative person or tearing people down, because I always try to make sure that what I'm saying is uplifting, positive, and just never bashing a person or a situation. Yeah. But again, we're all human. We all have feelings. But I guess just a good reminder for myself personally is that it's normal to vent, but just make sure who your audience is and understand why you're feeling the way you do, and then move on. So that's something I need to work on. But yeah, I guess just like,
that's something everyone needs to work on, though.
For sure.
It's not only you.
So those are my 5 reasons. And
that was pretty good.
I guess just like what I can say I've learned from it is that like guilt can be a super heavy emotion to carry. You just have to learn how to forgive yourself, how to let go, how to move on and deal with it. And if you're like me and feel it in almost everything you do, you really just need to learn how to, like what we were talking about, rationalize it, understand it, let it go, shift something in your life, and just know that not everything is like a you problem.
Yeah, just have a full Elsa moment and just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Just let it go. That's all I gotta say.
Amazing.
Good work, Jay.
Thank you.
You didn't even get sad.
I did it.
So proud of you.
Tried to keep it light.
So proud of you. Okay, my turn, I guess. I think we all know how much it sucks to feel guilty. Like, you know, you did something wrong. It felt okay-ish at the time, but now you just feel like crap. We've all been there, or at least I hope we've all been there, because if you've never felt guilt before, that terrifies me. I'm going to digress for a second. I want to talk about that. How wild is it that there are some people in this world that do not feel an ounce of guilt or remorse when they do something illegal? Like, what the frick? That's wild to me.
I feel like, I don't mean to be rude. Again, me feeling guilty for saying this. I feel like you're a psychopath.
No, I literally have like serial killers, sociopaths, psychopaths, anything like that. Never an ounce of guilt for all of the terrible things they've done.
Because guilt kind of ties in with like caring about the situation and caring about like wanting to be presented a certain way. So when you don't, it's like you're a psychopath.
I mean, like, obviously it grosses me out, but it also kind of intrigues me in the sense of like, what the heck do those connections in their brain look like? And like, what sort of chemical imbalance or genetics are happening in that body? Like, we talked a little bit about it last week when Jaiden was talking about what really disgusts her, but like, I wish we could do scientific testing on humans like for that purpose. Like, imagine what we would know if we were allowed to do that. Wild.
I don't know if I would like.
Wild.
Honestly, I don't know if I would want to know. Because I think
would. Because if it's a genetic trigger or if an environmental trigger that turns someone from regular to a sociopath where they don't feel guilt anymore.
I get that. I think
my science brain is very intrigued by all of that.
I'm super intrigued, but I almost feel like it's better to not know.
I disagree. I think I would want to know.
I don't know. I feel like it scares me to know, because then it's like I would try to avoid all these triggers, and then I feel like I wouldn't live my life fully. Like, I'd just be living in fear of all these things. But it is, I get what you're saying, like, it is super intriguing.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Back to guilt. I think instead of sitting here and ruminating on the things that we've done in our lives that make us feel guilty, and ruminating, I mean, like, not just talking about it, acknowledging it and moving on, just like never getting out of that cycle of like, I feel guilty, I feel guilty, I feel guilty. I think it's more important to identify those feelings and work to replace them with apologetic and then more positive emotions. So for me, when I feel guilty, I kind of feel it in the same place that I feel like a heartbreak. So like, I know some people are like, okay, Faith, well, really, has your heart been broken? Because you talk about being single all the time. Yes, it has been. I just would like to point that out, that it has been. And I get this like tight feeling like under my eyes. It's if like I can feel the tears building up in my face. And then my chest gets tight and my core feels like empty. You know what I mean?
You feel empty.
My core feels empty. My chest feels really heavy. But like my core and my stomach feels like there's nothing in there. And then I'm really tight in like my eyes because I feel like I could cry at like any second. And I'm just like holding it in.
Mine's like my brain, like I feel so heavy here, and my stomach feels like I don't even know, just like this, like clenched.
Yeah, mine's like, very like visceral. It takes over my whole body almost. Now obviously like these feelings like are much stronger during like heartbreak as like compared to guilt, but they're like the same-ish. So if you guys are listening for ways to combat feeling guilty, I think maybe start with taking a second and reflecting on how you physically feel when you experience the guilt, because once you can identify that this is the emotion you're experiencing, it's easier to determine why. So in a situation, you're like, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Oh, this happened last time I felt guilty. What have I done to make me feel guilty? Which leads to my next point. Try and figure out why it is that you're experiencing guilt. Did you say something to someone that could have a negative effect on their emotional or mental health? Did you purposely perform an act or do something that left someone out, or made an active choice to only include certain people? Or did you not do something at all? Did you skip hanging out with a group of friends because you wanted to watch Netflix? Did you put a small, minute activity above quality time with family or friends? Like, now, the why that I may experience is going to be different than the one that Jaiden does, or that my mom does, or my sister, or my friends. And that's okay. Yeah. Everyone feels guilty. Everyone's why is different. And I feel like people always make the joke, the first step to solving a problem is admitting you have one. But the same rule totally applies here. Like, guilt is never something that's ever going to go away completely from your life, but you can admit that you're feeling it. You can understand why, and then you can work to repair what seems to be broken or on the way to being broken or just not the way it should be. You know what I mean?
You have the choice to like either like let it debilitate you or let it shift something in your life in order to create better change.
Absolutely. So how do we do that? How can you eliminate the feelings of guilt? Well, it depends on the why. Realistically,
100%.
it's going to depend on what that why is. But here are some things that I do to try and eliminate the guilt that I feel when I feel it. The first thing is I try and justify why I made the choice that I did, because I want to trust myself. At every decision I make, I always want to make sure that the first thing I'm going to do is trust myself in that decision, whether it's positive or negative, whatever. Sometimes the justifications work and I can be like, nope, I did this. It was best for me. I trust myself. And that justification works. But sometimes those are excuses. And it's important to know the difference between a justification and an excuse, because the line is very thin. It's a very small line. So you have to know yourself. You have to know your brain. You have to know your body. And you have to know, was I justifying my actions or was I looking for an excuse to get away with what I did? So be careful for that.
That's a really good one. I find I don't do that right off the bat. Like when I feel guilty, I just go right to it's my fault, instead of maybe like trusting myself and
instead
knowing
of flipping the switch and being like, wait a second, I trust myself more than I trust anyone in the entire world. Why did I do this?
Because as individuals, you need to stand up for yourself in certain situations. So like Stand your ground, like trust yourself. But like Faith said, like you have to understand that fine line of like, ooh, are you making up an excuse or is this actually beneficial for you?
Yeah. So you can try and justify yourself, and that could be saying it out loud, writing it down, whatever, and then read it back and be like, yeah, that makes sense. I stand firm in my decision. I don't feel guilty about that. Or no, that really sounds like I'm just trying to make an excuse for what I did. Maybe I need to look a little bit further into this. My second thing is apologize.
Yes.
Reach out and acknowledge that you recognize that your actions had a negative impact on their lives. For some of us, this could be terrifying because it opens up an opportunity for a negative conversation. Take the risk anyway, because more often than not, that person is going to be more appreciative that you even like stood up and took the step towards an apology. And if they're going to stand there and beat you down for apologizing, that's not someone you want to have in your life anyway. So the conversation is going to tell you a lot.
I just think like put yourself in their shoes. Like if you did someone wrong and you were in their shoes and you were the one getting wronged, what would you want from that person? You would probably want an apology.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you always have to try to flip the switch. Try to flip it. So you're not focusing so much on yourself, because there is two people in a situation, 3, 4, however many. You have to look at the whole picture.
Yep.
And it's not a bad thing to apologize at all. It actually means like you're a very strong person for being vulnerable and righting your wrongs, like
absolutely
figuring it out.
And if number 3, I guess, is if an apology isn't an option because of the reason for the guilt, accept that you did something wrong and move on.
Because it's okay.
Recognize that the situation caused the feeling, and if or when the situation comes up again, learn from your mistake, make a better choice next time. We're human. It's all we can do. Sometimes you're really going to be reprimanded for what you did. Sometimes an apology might not work. And you know what? That's when you got to accept it, recognize you did something wrong, move on.
You just got to swallow that pill
and learn from your mistakes.
Boom.
Learn, because that's all we can do as humans. No one is perfect. And if they try to tell you you're perfect, they're lying to you. So you make a mistake, own it, accept it, move on, make a better choice next time.
Again, that shows so much strength rather than making up an excuse for what you've done.
Yep. And the last one, and I'm just going to finish by saying, give yourself grace.
Yes.
Remember and remind yourself that no one's perfect, like I just said, and we're all just trying to do the best we can each and every day.
Yes. You have to be so patient and kind to yourself. Like, what you tell yourself is what you're going to become. So be kind to your mind, your body, your soul, your whole being. You have to nurture it. And I know that sounds like so like
spiritual.
Spiritual of me. But I'm telling you, like, nurture your whole being, and it'll just like, you'll flourish from the inside out. That's Absolutely. How life works. So be patient with yourself. Be kind.
Absolutely.
And
good feelings.
Good job.
Yay, guilt.
Yay. Yay. I know. I was like, wait, I don't think so.
Yay
feelings. Yay feelings and yay for understanding our minds, kind of.
And we did it without being sad.
Yay.
Which means it is time for my second favorite segment of the podcast now, which is quote of the moment. So it is time where we just give you a quote that, you know, sums up everything we talked about in this episode. So I'm going to start. I'm going to try to pronounce this person's name. I am so sorry if I say it wrong. Taiwo Kafalat?
Sure.
Got it off of Pinterest. All it says is, note to self, less criticism, more compassion, more grace, less guilt. And like I said in my Fizz and Feelings, guilt is an emotion that can be so heavy and so negative. And as much as it's important to talk about the heavy things, and if being best friends with Jaiden has taught me anything, it is that we have to do the work to find the positive as well. Because the guilt will be there. It will always be there, but so is grace. Giving grace to yourself during those moments that the guilt feels like it's suffocating you. Giving grace to the people around you that are coming to you and apologizing and addressing their guilt. You are in control of if the guilt eats you alive or if you allow the grace to come in, give that guilt a little side hug, and then boot it out the door, you know? No one is perfect, no matter how hard we try. We know this about ourselves, but we often forget that it applies to other people as well. Show them more grace. Help them relieve the guilt they may be feeling. And do to yourself what you would do to others. Show yourself grace and relieve the guilt that you feel too.
Treat others the way you would want to be treated.
Yep.
Always, always, always.
Always and forever, amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. We have very similar thoughts.
Of course we do. Very on brand for the podcast.
My quote is, guilt can either hold you back from growing or it can show you what you need to shift in your life.
Ooh, love that.
So, like Faith said, guilt can be extremely heavy to the point where you feel like you can't function. It chips away at you and eats you alive if you let it consume you. But you do have a choice. You always have a choice and the power to change something.
You always have a choice.
To change something for the better. You can either let it consume you and debilitate your growth, or you can let it be an indicator that you need to shift something in your life in order to lessen or remove that guilt, which will in turn help you flourish into the best possible you. Make the conscious change to help your personal growth. If you're feeling guilty about something, it's probably telling you something. Like, use it as a signal to focus in on that part of your life more in order to understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And
100%.
Maybe you need to spend more time with your family, or maybe you need to loosen up the grip on that one friendship, or maybe it is a you problem and you got to fix that.
And that's okay. We still love you.
Just look at what the situation calls for and follow those signals, and don't let the guilt consume you and stunt your growth. It's not worth it.
It shouldn't stunt. It should push your growth.
Everything, any little obstacle or any setback should not stop you from growing. It should be an onset for growth.
Absolutely.
The end.
Love it.
Wow.
I thought last week's podcast episode was good. We just keep getting better.
You know what?
It's just me that thinks this, but we're just like, it's 2020. We're stepping it up.
2020 and I came to it up. Hey.
Good work, everyone. That's our show for you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and we'll stay tuned for the rest of our In Our Feel season.
Pause. Let us know how you guys feel about The Bachelorette.
Please.
Do you agree with what we said? Do you disagree? Do you have different predictions? Slide into the DMs. Let us know. Do you have a friend that loves The Bachelorette but doesn't really listen to a podcast? Have them listen to the first 40 minutes of this one. Maybe they need a recap show to talk about The Bachelorette more. We would love to have them listen. That's it. Jaiden, continue.
And in order for them to listen, You got to tell them to turn on the post notifications. You got to tell them to just subscribe. You got to tell them to comment, like, follow us on all social media.
And remember, at 400 followers, the video of Jaiden breaking her nose is going on our account. And at 500 followers, we're going to do a giveaway. And hopefully we can partner with some cool brands. I got a couple in mind. Help us get to those 2 milestones, 400 and 500. We got big things coming.
So in order to do that, guys, you have to follow us. Instagram at Let's Talk with Jaiden and Faith. Facebook, Let's Talk About It Podcast. TikTok at Let's Talk About It Pod. And of course, our YouTube channel, if you see our wonderful faces right now, Let's Talk About It with Jaiden and Faith.
And next Monday is the last Monday of the month, which means...
So you know what that means.
We're pausing from our emotion series. We're coming out of our fields for a second, and we have a little collab maybe.
Not just one guest, but...
Not just one guest, but two.
Two?
And it's a little podcast?
Sure.
Podcast crossover, if you will. Not gonna tell you who. Gonna make you wait, but we're actually recording tomorrow. I'm super excited. It's not gonna be the same format that we've been giving you. We're still gonna have a little Bachelorette recap segment that you can hear. That'll be at the beginning, and then we'll get into it with our guests. We're just gonna be shooting the poop and just talking about our topic, and there's gonna be laughs, there's gonna be some serious moments for sure. It's just gonna be a great time. I can't wait, and I know you guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be very open-ended, and you're probably gonna see a different side of Faith and I.
Of us for sure.
So stay tuned for that. And before you close, before you close whatever app you listen to us on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Simplecast, whatever the heck it is, please take a moment and give us a 5-star rating and leave a review about how amazing this new season is and how excited you are for this collab. We want to hear it all. But anyways, guys,
we love you so much. Thank you so much. We are close to 3,000 downloads of our episodes, which is bananas and a half.
So let's keep going up from here.
I'm so glad you guys are liking and listening, and we sometimes forget that there's everyone out here that listens. If I'm being honest, we forget that it's not just talking for us. So please let us know what you like, what you don't like, what do you want to hear us talk about. Send us a DM, tag us in your stories, everything. We love to see it. We love you guys, and we'll finally let you go because it's been a while, but that's okay.
Rock on. We love you. Black Lives Matter.
And wear your damn mask, people.
Peace.
Bye.